everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Silverwood here in Planet Coaster, my park that is, it's a bit of Dollywood, a little bit of Silver Dollar City, but it's kind of just my own thing. And I know it's been a while since we've been in the park, but the park actually hasn't really been in my hands. Instead, it has been in JLWGames' hand, and I would like to say that he is here with me right now and introduce him to you guys.
Hey, what's up, guys? Joe from JLWGames, and it was a big privilege to work here in Silverwood, here with Shadow, because if you guys might not know, I actually work at Silver Dollar City, so that's kind of a neat thing, maybe a fun little fact. So I know a lot about one of those parks. So.
And that's exactly the reason why I wanted to get you in on this, because you have like first-hand experience of what this, like a park like this looks like. While I haven't actually been to any of them except Dollywood, and it's been years. So all of my vision and stuff for this is just coming from photos, videos, everything else like that, and just things I remember from probably 15 years ago, maybe? Yeah. So it's good to have somebody who's got some first-hand experience in that and can kind of guide a few things. So
yeah, absolutely, and I think it's fun. The funny part is I didn't even do a ride that was inspired by an SDC ride, so, but a ride that I actually really love at Dollywood. So, what I inspired it by. So, you gave me a little bit of area to work with, and you gave me some pretty good freedom. So I kind of appreciate that. But I was really nervous to hoping everyone would like it. As we get close to coming around the corner here.
Exactly, yeah. So I did want to give you like complete freedom. You know, I mean, we talked a little bit about before. I knew what you kind of wanted to do, and what you wanted to do, I had something kind of in mind as well. So I showed you a little bit of concept art I'd found online, and was like, yes, maybe something like this, but you know, do whatever you need to do with it. And
I went a little bit with it. A little bit, but of course, obviously, I made a lot of changes to that concept, and I did keep the name though, which was kind of cool. So,
but it came out great.
As we come around here, and you can see the entrance to Dynamine. It's very heavily inspired by Mystery Mine at Dollywood. So, and I absolutely love Mystery Mine, and it's probably an unpopular opinion, but it's actually one of my favorite coasters of all time.
It's also one of the only Eurofighter, well, not only, but it was the first Eurofighter in the United States.
Yes, and it's the only Eurofighter I've actually ridden, so, but I like it. And I will say, this area is a lot better at night.
And most, we are totally going to take a look at that at the end there too, so.
Yeah, and then I decided to put a little gift shop by the area right there as well. Just kind of a shop, you know, if, you know, that would sell, I don't know, like, merchandise for the ride, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, get your Dynamine t-shirts, everything like that. Yeah. It looks great.
We don't have a t-shirt stall in the game though, do we?
We do not. We have TMTK stuff, which hopefully I can actually use at some point in the future.
Yeah, hopefully soon. And that's another thing to note. I didn't use any Theme Maker's Toolkit items. It's all in-game items as well, so.
And that was a special request by me, so...
Yes, I figured you wouldn't want to. Me, personally, I don't mind using them, but I know you still haven't, or don't want to use them just yet, until they get some more fixes to it, so...
Yeah, just a few more bugs to work out on it, and it'll be good. I mean, they got a great start with that last patch, and but for me, it just didn't fix everything, and that's why I personally am just not using it, but, I mean, yeah. Totally, we will definitely hope to get into some of that, and then we can actually make a really awesome t-shirt shop with something in there. So, I love this sign.
Yeah, it was. I threw it together, and it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. And I had that little annoying space right there in the pathway, so I figured I'd just make it into the sign. So, and it worked out pretty well.
Gotta love those path issues, but sometimes you can make them work.
Yeah, you just gotta work around them sometimes, and you know, make a positive out of it, maybe.
Exactly. You know what it kind of reminds me of? The Copperhead Strike sign. Just a little bit like it. Like, I don't know. Something about it just makes me think of the Copperhead Strike sign that's outside of that ride.
Yeah, nice. So you got the entrance on the right, exit on the left. I made the exit ramps because I kind of make them the way I view it is, you're going to have disabled guests be able to have access as well, so there's no stairs on the exit ramp. That's something like SDC does really well. Instead of having like elevators, they usually have like ramps to the exits to make it a little easier for guests that are using wheelchairs or anything. But obviously in the game, they're not going to use wheelchairs, but it's just always a detail I like to usually have in mind.
Adds that little bit of extra realism. I try to do the same thing, is at least make one of my paths all ramps. One of them may have some steps in it, but the other one will be ramped if at all possible.
Mm-hmm. And the queue line is meant to be viewed if it was dark. I kind of wish there was a way in Planet Coaster where you can make inside buildings dark, but you can't really. So it's kind of weird. During the day, it doesn't have the look that I like in the queue line as if it was at nighttime.
Well, we'll definitely. What I'll do is I'll switch it into night mode. Let me take a look on the outside of this building, though. I honestly haven't really looked at it too close yet. Mm-hmm. I watched your stream as you were making it, but actually seeing it in person here, if I can keep myself out of the walls here, the other building. Yeah, this looks great.
I like to have a lot of little planks going over the windows and stuff. I may have overdone it a little bit, but you never know.
Nah, I would say not enough.
Yeah, maybe. You can never do enough. And I just wanted to make it look imperfect, if that makes sense.
It come out great.
That's the kind of detail I wanted to go for, was very imperfect. And make it look like it's barely holding together. So that's actually where the second lift is, right there, where we're at right now, in the very tall building. Which is very, very similar to Mystery Mine itself, actually, the effect-wise. That's in the inside.
Oh, there it goes. Good catch right there.
And then we got, I guess you call it a flying snake dive as the final element. It's going to have a roll straight into almost like a dive loop-ish, kind of.
Nice.
Which it's kind of similar to Mystery Mine, but it's definitely different than Mystery Mine's last two inversions. But
yeah, I can tell the similarity, but I mean, there's also a huge difference as well.
Oh
too.
yeah.
So it is definitely its own thing.
I wanted to make it its own thing, but at the same time, kind of give that you can definitely tell it's inspired by.
Totally.
And I did do a little bit of custom supporting, especially of course the wooden supports on the lift and the first drop. And then the bridge, and then some of the regular supports are custom supported as well. I didn't do a whole lot of custom supporting on the regular supports. A lot of them are low to the ground, so I didn't think I really needed to. So I think it turned out pretty good the way the support worked.
I do the same thing. I try not to use custom supports unless I absolutely necessarily have to, because that's just a little bit of extra work that sometimes I could use for other things.
When it's close to the ground, you really don't need to, because, it works. If it's, like, higher up, I usually do custom supporting, but, so.
I still got some I got to do on Mustang, just in a couple of places.
Yeah, I also didn't do a priority pass. I mean, if we want to add one later, we can possibly, but, I don't know.
Well, there's time.
I mean, most rides these days usually have a, fast lane pass or whatever line, so
yeah.
But
I never put one on Mustang either, so I plan on going back and adding one to that one.
Yeah.
So this is something we can kind of go back and look at it, later on, and once the park kind of gets a little more fuller with more rides and more scenery and stuff, we can kind of look and see what we can do with it.
And then a small detail I put in with like the floodlights that are just kind of built into the ground. I didn't like how they looked. They just looked too modern in this area, so I just put a little bit of rock work right around them, and it kind of made it look a little better, I thought.
Nice.
Just for just a little extra. And then I didn't want just the regular texture from the wood textures either, so I kind of threw in some of those plank textures in some random spots, or a lot of spots actually too. So gives it a little bit of a unique look-ish.
It come out perfect in my opinion. Like everything just kind of looks like broken up, rickety, kind of old, and you got the different variations in colors on the planks and different kinds of planks, and Yeah, it's great.
And then I was sure to add a lot of like theme music around as well. And it's in game music at the same time. I also have one custom audio that I did, which we'll get to later.
Absolutely. So should we go ahead and get in line for it at this point?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's do it.
Let's go ahead and we'll turn out the lights.
Yes, because it looks kind of weird unless the lights are off, because it's meant to be dark in the inside of the queue.
Yeah. Don't you wish there was a button we could just like flip it from AM to PM?
Yes.
Like a shortcut. That would be nice to have.
Nice shortcut would be nice. But I wanted to do I like the blues and the purplish pinkish kind of color combination, so that's what I went with. And then the combination, of course, with the lanterns.
Yeah, those are my colors too. I love blue and purples. Love those colors. I do those too. All right. Well.
This is one of the most complex buildings I ever made because it's huge.
Yeah, when you look at it from overhead, it is
yeah,
quite large.
I'm like, oh my gosh, it just stands out so much.
All right. Oh, I can hear that custom audio in there right now, actually.
Yeah, it's a little loud usually because I don't know if they ever fixed it, but I didn't try to use it. If you use a custom audio with triggered speakers, it doesn't work all the time. It just randomly stops working.
I think
so
I'm still having that problem, so it's not.
Yeah, you have
yet.
to use the way you can make it work is you use the display sequencer and attach the display speakers on it, and you set the length of time it works, and it works every time if you use it, and you just trigger the display sequencer. That's how I've been doing it.
Gonna have to remember that. I gotta go back into Crystal Gardens and fix one.
Yeah, it's only for custom audio though. Like the in-game audio works fine with the triggered speakers. It's really weird. So.
Tons of scenery in here. I like it.
Yeah, just a lot of dynamites and stuff. I wanted to make this room kind of the bigger room, so it has like that water tower and stuff. A little bit of fighting textures here and there, which kind of suck, but.
I'm not really noticing it too bad on my side here right now.
It was more on the floor that you're standing on. As
Oh.
I did those,
yeah.
and some of them are fighting right there, which kind of sucks, but.
It's fixable. Kinda.
Yeah, I tried to avoid it as best as I can. But it's just that little detail. It's like, eh.
It won't annoy me too bad. I'm usually not standing in the lines for the rides anyway, so.
And then I tried to do my best to do a lot of the custom fencing a little bit as well. These are just fences from the scenery, but just something that's not the queue line fencing. I try to get away from that as much as possible. And I like queue lines that are nice and dark.
With just a little bit of light.
Yeah, just a little bit of light so you can see, but like I like dark queue lines.
You don't want it too dark though, then you end up with like Flight of Fear at Kings Island where you can't see anything.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't even know where the path I'm going is.
And I even added the mining ambient noises in here as well in this spot.
Oh, nice.
You can hear 'em, but you can kind of hear the changes in audio.
I hear a few things, yeah. Sounds like electrical, maybe?
It was actually, the ambient noise is called mine.
Oh, okay.
That I found, so I used the ambient speakers on it.
You know, I honestly haven't messed with too many of the ambient stuff.
Yeah, and then I just added the music all the way through the area and in the queue line.
And I like how it looks like we're actually going through a mine itself right now, too.
Yeah.
Nice use of the entrance or the gate things here.
Yeah, it was a little... I mean, I could have made my own, but those were pretty quick, and I thought they looked just fine, so... And then just add some lanterns on them.
Almost to the right here.
And then I could have made those animatronics move, but I just kind of like them just sitting still. Little guys with
Maybe
a
they
pickaxe
worked in
and
the
a shovel.
beginning, but now, like, you know, we've kind of moved on and like, yeah, we'll get to those. we'll get the guy on that to fix it one of these days.
And then I like the little details in the station, like, having storage bins and stuff. So.
Oh, yeah, I see him over there.
Then we get to the custom audio that I made. I usually have been doing it for all my projects. I did my best miner impersonation.
We'll have to wait for the next train to catch the whole thing.
Yeah, and the way you do it is when you put the audio together, you got to put the exit one first, because I put the trigger right before it goes back into the station, so it starts at the welcome back, and then have a pause, and then it does the entrance for when people first get on.
Once the restraints open, please exit to your right and don't forget any loose items. Welcome, miners. You need to store all loose items in the storage bins across the way. Once seated, pull down on your restraint. During your ride, keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. Now hold on tight. It's gonna be an explosive ride.
I love it. I really do.
I think I accidentally hired the pitch of my voice on it slightly. I remember messing with the pitches, and I was like, no, I won't do it. I may have accidentally raised it a little bit.
I know
But I'm not sure.
when you were sending me the file, you were like, I think it sounds maybe a little cringy, so you apologize.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean,
I'm
they're
sure
always,
it's
they're
fine.
always going to.
Yeah, I mean, we're amateurs at this stuff. We're not, professional voice recorders.
No, but I like adding just a little touch of, most some actual ride announcements kind of can be cringy anyways. So
Exactly. Yeah,
But
he wasn't
I just
actually
ma-
going to do this, and I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I kind of wanted you to. So
because
I
I
had to
think I was in one of my parks and you noticed it and you said, hey, you could do that in mine. And I was like, oh, sure. Because at first I didn't use anything custom because I didn't know if you would mind that or not. But after you said, sure, go ahead, I was like, yeah, I'll make a quick announcement audio.
Yeah, I was cool with like custom audio, custom video or images, anything like that. It's just the
You just have to
TMTK stuff
download
is
it
the
and
only thing I'm not doing yet. So.
During your ride, keep your hands and feet.
Now we also used a different train on this track too.
Yeah, we used the Looney Tunes trains, which I like a little bit better than the Eurofighter trains.
I do too, because
Just the look of them. I think they fit a little bit better for the theming, just the way they look.
I totally agree. I was watching the stream that night, and when he was putting it on there, and I was like, I kind of like the Looney Tunes better myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, well, it does kind of mess with the, there's a little bit of collision there.
Yeah, it clips through the station a little bit, but
one part of it does, but it's not.
and I had already finished the layout and some of the custom supports, and I remember I had to adjust some of the beams because it was actually, this train's a little bit bigger than the Eurofighter train, so it ended up clipping through some of my support beams and stuff on some of the bridge areas, so I had to make them wider, which wasn't a huge deal. It didn't take me that long to adjust, but
I remember we had to fix. I was watching you fix the. This part right here was too small. And you
yeah,
had to-
it was. I don't know if I actually changed that size because I feel like you could reach out and touch it with your arm.
Please exit to
Yeah,
your
it's
right.
fine.
Don't forget any loose items.
Yeah,
We got insurance.
We did have an announcement saying keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all
in the
times.
storage
So.
bin
That is true.
across the way.
We already warmed them.
Once seated, pull down on your restraint.
And then I remember it was towards the beginning. Remember those red eyes on the inside there?
Yeah.
Now
I
hold
tried
on
to
tight.
find.
It's
I
gonna
could have
be an
swore there was a
explosive
piece.
ride.
Like there had to be. I don't know what happened. I remember them being a piece with like the red eyes, but I actually ended up using the just those lights. So
It was the fairy tale lights, right? It was-
yeah, I think that's what they're called. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the blinking ones that most people use them on like carnival rides and
Please
stuff like
exit
that.
to your right and don't forget any loose items.
Yeah, because I know you were mentioning it, and I was like, I could have sworn I saw it too. And that night, I went through every single piece of scenery.
did.
Pull
And couldn't
down
find
on
it.
your restraint.
Could not
gone.
find it.
During your
So.
ride, keep
I don't know
your
if they
hands
took it
and
out
feet
or if it
inside
just
the
I was
vehicle
going
at all
crazy. I don't know.
times. Now
I
hold
think
on
maybe
tight.
we're crazy.
It's gonna
I don't think
be
they took anything
explosive
out.
ride.
Right.
If they did,
don't-
I think somebody would have noticed it, and I'd seen it in the bug
Yeah.
reports. So.
I don't know. I think I'm going crazy.
All right, so I guess we could take a ride on it, but before we do that, though, you actually have made your own POV for this, right?
Yes, I actually haven't recorded it, but I'm actually going to record it after we do this, so that's what I'm doing tonight.
Well, it's by the time this video actually launches, we're timing
Yes,
this
it'll
so
be
that
the
they
same.
both come out at the exact same time. So if you guys are coming from JLWs over to this one to see this part of it, then welcome. And if you haven't seen the POV yet, then head over to his channel. I'm going to put a link here for it, and you can watch his POV and showcase video for this.
I'm going to do a 4K video,
Nice.
which will be really nice. I mean,
Are you going to use
4K
reshade?
Yes, I usually use reshade to add just a pinch of motion blur, and it makes it a little smoother, and it's really nice.
Awesome. I've tried to use
Yeah.
reshade, and I can't get it to work any way I like, so I just
Yeah,
stopped messing
it can
with
be
it.
it can be tricky if you just got to mess around a lot with
To
it.
your right, and don't forget any loose items.
I don't know. Should we write it or?
Welcome,
eh,
miners.
you know,
need to stow all
I
loose
think we should
items
totally
in the
just let them see the
storage bins across the
POV
way.
instead of
Okay.
actually writing it.
Once
That way
pull
we
down
save a
on
little
your
bit for
restraint.
that. Is there anything in the exit
Keep your
line?
hands in.
Anything
There's
interesting?
not too much, just a little bit of boards and signage here, there, not much. And there's this one little spot right around that corner there that has a little themed spot. It just has a couple of mining stuff in it, just through that window right there, and that's
Oh.
about it.
Okay.
It's just
That
kind of
works.
simple. I mean, it's an exit, so.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not a whole lot on exits. I mean, unless you're Disney.
Yeah.
You know, no hitchhiking ghosts or anything here. So. Got
Just
the
kind of kept it a little simple.
got the patterns, kind of messed up patterns on the walls here.
Oh yeah. And you can kind of see the blue light shining through, which is actually kind of cool.
I like it. I'm good with that. And then back out, and then we can kind of take a look at the outside of it in the dark here as
Oh,
well.
yes.
Now you
really
did
cool
actually
light.
put a trigger on there as well, so that when you actually are riding the ride in POV mode, it triggers in the dark, so that it's a.
Yeah, it's not the smoothest I would hope, but there's not really a great way to make it a smooth transition from when you're outside going into a building. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird transition, but it still works.
The only
That way
other way
it's
to do
dark.
it would be put the entire thing really far underground, and we didn't want to do that. So
I didn't want to cover it all in terrain. I've done that before on a dark ride. It's a pain.
I've never tried that yet, but
I've done it once.
the lighting
But,
effects they really show off everything here.
Yep, and I did a lot of light triggers. So especially on the bridge right there that goes over the path, there's
Yep,
kind
which
of
we
this
should
lightning
see
effect.
in just a second, as soon as this
Yeah,
car
after
goes
that
through
train
there.
goes. Good thing is the trains go by pretty often. I think I have 4 trains running,
That's pretty good.
and they're spaced out pretty well, so.
Like a lightning effect there.
Yep, and it goes all the way till it goes through. And it even has that thunder sound.
Oh, I couldn't hear that. That sucks.
Yeah, I just have the one speaker right underneath the bridge. I think it's one of those 2 speakers right there that actually go off. You have to be pretty close to it to hear it. But
One of these here.
yeah, I think it's that one.
I think it's this
Oh,
one
that-
because
Yeah, the
closer I
other
get
one
this
is
one,
the
I can
music.
hear the ambient. Yeah, I can hear the music louder right there. So. Thought I heard
Yeah.
another one coming over us, but
It
guess
should be
not.
coming here pretty soon. Hey, yeah, here it comes.
There we
Ah,
go.
There it is.
Yeah.
I should have probably added another speaker somewhere, but it's all right.
Now, one thing I was thinking about, like later on, after you had the park and everything, and you were working on this, and I was seeing what you were doing, is I was actually thinking about taking all of it and just kind of raising it up a little bit, and raising this path. And I know you were like, I don't know, the paths are going to be kind of tough to recreate, but I think I can do it, and I'll have a save
Yeah.
of the park anyway first. And I was thinking about just raising everything up and maybe make this drop right here, this turn. Maybe make it just kind of a little deeper. That way it can kind of go a little further down and up. Just maybe kind of, but that way we'd have a little bit of a ridge on each side of the path a little bit, I think, too. And
Yeah.
be able to see some things from a little further away in the park. And I don't know. I just think raising the path and just raising all this area up a little bit would be kind of nice.
Right. I just said it would probably be a little challenge, but go for it.
Yeah. Well, hey, if I can't do it, I'll still have the save file. So.
Right.
It's worth experimenting with anyway, because I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe raising all of that up just a little bit and kind of maybe match the rest of the terrain of the park a little bit. Because I don't want the park to be very flat everywhere in the park. I definitely want to get some terrain transitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. But another thing I did with the lanterns as lights is I actually did put area lights underneath them, so it looks like they're giving out a little more light than what they actually do in the game.
I did the same thing in Crystal Gardens. I have a light blueprint that I use. It's got the light attached to it, and I just kind of turn it to make a little more light in the path.
Just the lantern itself, it doesn't put out like any light, so.
No. Too bad they didn't give us adjustable light patterns. That way we could be like, oh hey, let's make this just a bigger radius here. So that would have been nice to have. And then of course I got to figure out what to do with the train. We were talking a little bit before we started. Before we started actually recording this, I was like, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this train. It's gotta go somewhere.
Like I said, I just put a fence there, because I don't want any guests, climbing on the train.
And I was thinking about maybe, I don't know, I probably won't do it, but I was thinking about maybe making a path up the hill right here.
Yeah.
It kind of goes maybe right next to the building part of that a little bit, but I gotta be careful because we don't want to, damage the inside of that with the queue line. So.
Yeah, the queue line's just right underneath. I barely had it enclosed too. There's, you can manipulate the terrain enough to where you can probably make it work, but.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have put a path up through that way or not, though, because, I don't know, it's just too close to the Ferris wheel and too close to the ski lift over there, so I don't know what I'm going to do just yet, but, yeah, I handed it off to you, and you did a fantastic job, and this was exactly what I was hoping for. Wasn't sure what you were going to do. We had an idea, and I was like, yep, here's all the area. You can do whatever you want with it. You can do whatever you want with terrain, all of that, and just have your way with it. And you built an awesome ride.
I just remember I was just so nervous. Like, I hope it's good enough. I hope Shadow likes it. Everyone in the comments or when I was streaming seemed to love it. So I was getting a little more confidence once people were like, "Yeah, he's gonna love it. This is amazing."
Absolutely. I'm extremely happy with it, and I'm glad I kind of asked you about it and see if you wanted to do it and everything, because this looks fantastic. So
I was gonna say it's one of my proudest builds. It's one of my proudest builds that I've ever did.
Really?
Yeah, I would actually say it's one of the best rides I've ever made.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to have it in Silverwood.
It's one of my personal favorites that I have personally made, I think.
So now, of course, now that you have done work in my park, now you're going to be like having a lot of other people being like, oh, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? So.
I have already had some of my viewers ask me that. I'm like, I have so many things going on right now. I'd love to. I really would, but I just have a lot of projects I need to actually finish myself. So
I know what you mean.
I'm actually working, after I'm done with my big project at Time City, I'm actually going to be working more on my Sword Art City recreation. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, still got...
I started it years ago, like 2 years ago when the game first came out, and I've hardly worked on it, so...
I've still got this park that I just started. I've still got Vista View, which I started when Planet Coaster first came out. And then, let's see, Kings Falls I'm still working on, and then Crystal Gardens Phase 2, which I'm kind of waiting to see maybe what new stuff we're going to get maybe midway through the year before I go back into working on that. So, and then what else do I have? I got a whole other 2 parks that I want to kind of start working on too. Plus my my boardwalk park for my Patreons and Twitch subs. So
yeah, I always usually just have one big project and then a couple side projects here and there. So
that's usually what I do, is just one big huge project, and I work on it like most of the time, and then I might have something like small that I'm working on every now and then, but I'm stretching myself too thin this year, and it's worth it because I get bored in one park, I can go work in another.
Right. Yeah, that's what I do. Like, that's why I like to have the side projects. If I don't feel like working on the main park, I have something else I can work on, so.
This is my favorite part of the ride. This, where the Swift Hill is right here. I love this. That's a great view right there, too.
It's definitely best at night when riding, for sure. Just all the lighting is really good. I like the random red light at the bottom of the second, or the last, or that drop, too.
What is that just a spotlight?
I think it was an area light. I think. I think it's by the fence, by the pathway, actually. I think they're just the spotlights.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
That's what they were.
I was like, where is it? I can't figure out the angle.
And there's actually an explosion sound coming from that. That speaker right there. It's triggered. It's not super loud, but.
Why is there an explosion? Well, I guess you'll have to watch the POV on your channel to find out, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, once again, I mean, I love it. It's fantastic. It's the perfect addition to the park. I knew you wouldn't do wrong because, you know, like we said at the very beginning, you have experience. You actually work at Silver Dollar City, so this is, you know, this is your kind of park. So.
Oh yeah. I was like, when I first caught one of your first streams doing this, I was like really excited. I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm like, I'm surprised I haven't done a park like that yet.
There's a look at how massive the actual building itself is.
The roofing was definitely interesting to do because there's a lot of roofing. And I tried to make it a little unique with some planks here and there, just to, I mean, it's kind of repetitive, but it's all the same building, so.
That's okay. Most people aren't going to see this unless maybe you're on the Ferris wheel up there, or maybe another coaster or something that's going to go in here.
Yeah, that's why I didn't detail those top pieces too much, because you can't really see them if you're a guest in first person. Like,
Exactly.
that's what a lot of, you know, like dark rides and stuff. You'll have the front all decorated where the guests can see it, but all the back sections just blank.
Yeah, there's a few buildings in the park that I still haven't put any backs on. It's fine. Hashtag it's fine. It looked like that kid was pushing all those people just there. I love it. I love everything about it. It's perfect, man. I appreciate it. I really, really do.
Well, I was happy to have the opportunity, so I appreciate the opportunity. This is actually the first time I've actually worked on another Twitch streamer's park, so. I've always been wanting to do a collaboration too, so.
Yeah, it's not my first collaboration, but instead of doing an entire park collaboration, I was just like, you know what? Let's just if people maybe might want to come in and build there, you know, if I know them and I know, yeah, I mean, they would suit the park, you know, because there's like you, and then I've mentioned Fisherman, and Fisherman is interested, so I'm gonna speak with him after this and maybe find out if he's still interested or not. I talked to. I still haven't figured out how to pronounce his name, but Mate Jakesman, because he makes awesome wooden coasters. So I talked to him and sent him a message on Twitter. He's interested. One person I was kind of hoping maybe would be Eston Wolf, but I don't know if he'd be interested. I talked to him a year ago, before I ever even started this park, about maybe doing something like this, you know, and he just said he was way too busy at the time, so and he's never mentioned. I know I've mentioned him a few times in the videos, and he's never said anything, so probably won't get him. So, but that's fine. I mean, this right here is fantastic. Even if you're the last person that builds anything in the park, I mean, it's still perfect. And maybe once we get things a little more fuller in the park, maybe you can kind of come back in and maybe add some other things here and there, and maybe we'll finish it all together. So
yeah, absolutely. If you ever, I'm definitely interested. If you want to bring me back for something, I would definitely would love to work on it again.
Sure thing. All right. Well, I guess it's gonna be it for this episode. Once again, guys, go over to JLW's YouTube channel and check out the POV for Dynamine. I've ridden it. It's quite fun. It's very nice. It's a little bit Mystery Mine, but it's its own beast. So I really like it. Thanks so much, Joe, for
Well-
stopping by and working on the park for me.
Yeah, thanks for having me and for the opportunity.
Not a problem at all. I appreciate it. All right, well, we're going to head out of here. You guys have a great rest of the evening, and wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching. What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button down below and click on the bell to stay on top of all my new videos and live streaming events here on YouTube. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the names you see on the right for their support through donations, Patreon, and through Twitch subs. If you would like to join their ranks and you are able, you can do so by clicking on any of those links in the video description down below. No worries though, if you don't like giving away money like that, you can still support the channel by purchasing games or anything through Greenman Gaming, through Humble Bundle, or through Amazon by clicking on my links and making your purchase. A little bit of that goes towards me to support the channel. If you still can't get enough of me, you can always check me out live on twitch.tv and stay up to date with me on Twitter as well. Now that's going to be it, but I can't say thank you enough for all your support here on the channel. Wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. See you later.